Started. Welcome, everybody, to the 178th episode of AI Pod Live. This is brought to you by AI Pod, which all of you know is a large community of AI enthusiasts, along with Axel Technology Forum. Axel is a one-of-a-kind accelerator for AI startups run by IIT Alumni Center, Bengaluru, along with the support of the Government of Karnataka. So with that, I have my pleasure to welcome Ankush Sabarwal. Ankush is the CEO, founder of CoreOver AI and BharatGPT. Ankush, welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Really, a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to the insightful
Yeah.
discussion.
So what we are going to do, Ankush, is have a chat for maybe 35 minutes, and then open it up to the audience for questions. And to the audience, folks, please type your questions only in the Q&A box, not in the chat box. Q&A box. Ankush will have access to that as well, and I'll look at it and ask him those questions on your behalf. With that, as I said, we'll chat for around 35 minutes, Ankush. Ankush, let's start right at the beginning. What's the story behind CoreOver, and more importantly, what's the relationship with BharatGPT?
Sure. Um, See, I started my career as a techie. Started my career with Wipro Technologies here in Bangalore, Electronic City. I was there with them around, I think, 4.5 years. And then I joined another company called Mysis. Now it is called as Finistra. So now we call it as fintech, but earlier the fintech name was not that popular. So they used to create core banking, develop core banking solutions for various regions, and a lot of fintech apps like internet banking and few more. And there also I worked for around 5 years. With Wipro, I worked in India and the US, and with Mysis, I worked in India and France, Europe. Um, and Mysis, I think, used to claim top 100 banks in the world are using one or the other software of Mysis. And Finacle was kind of competitor that time, but Mysis was not concentrating in India as a market, but Finacle was very heavy in India. Then I joined a company called Altisource. That was a US-based unicorn. And again, I think that time the unicorn word was not there. Now, when I think, and these names existed there, it was kind of mortgage tech, servicing the mortgage industry. Then I joined a company called Yardley Digital Harbor. But while I was in Altisource, and the thought where Mysis used to serve 100 plus banks, and Finacle, if you know, let's take Indian example. I think 80% of the banks in India are using Finacle. So then I used to think, so then what makes a specific bank number one or number two or number three? If the software is same, because we are techies and we used to think, the product is the differentiation. But the product is not built by them. If it is about, but for us, the product was a tech product. So the product was not built by the banks; it's built by the other company, and the same company is giving the product to all the banks. And then if you talk about, okay, maybe the functional products are different and unique, that also no, because what they have CASA, maybe current account, saving account, fixed deposit. So which bank has a unique banking product which other banks don't have? But I was thinking the tech is same, the functional product is same, and then what makes a certain bank number one, number two, number three? Then after thinking much and talking to a lot of people, so then, and a lot of AI adoption was also happening in 2016 when we had incorporated the company while I was working in Altisource. Then I found the answer, like it's not about the functional or the tech product, it's more about the how customers perceive you, right? It's more of perception more, and then the reality. And the perception doesn't just build with nothing, right? Perception is built because we are able to serve to them, we are able to hear them, we are able to solve the problems for them, and more of customer engagement and the experience. And 2016, if you remember, a lot of AI adoptions, and the chatbot term was very, very common. And so many innovative companies started adopting chatbots, but none, I think I would not say 99%, but 100% implementations they failed, right? None of them were working, and there were a lot of articles
Menu,
being.
and many were menu driven as well. I mean, you can ask only one thing. From that, there'll be a drop down, etc. Am I right?
Absolutely. Even until recently, around 2 years ago, even if you see the top three companies, the global tech companies come to your mind. So even they were having the button based the chatbots. So the button based chatbots, I would still think they still work. They work because we are not increasing or enhancing the expectation of the user. Hey, now you can ask me anything, right? At least I'm giving three options you have to choose. So I'm not setting the wrong expectation. So they did right. So, but people who are more experimental, and then they said, okay, ask me anything, but the chatbots were not answering. So why it was happening like that? Because I think two reasons. One, since the users were not there, the data was not there, and the training did not happen that much. The second, the compute was costly and it was not there, and LLMs and Gen AI was not there, even if it was there, very, very shallow. So, and the third part, which where we found the opportunity was, there was no one company who was providing this AI kind of solution or AI assistant, the chatbot, end to end. So there was a platform like IBM Watson, Microsoft Louis, and Amazon also had something called Lex. Not sure if that exists now. So they had the platform, but they were not giving the solution to these consumer companies. So then the other companies like Wipro, Infosys, and TCS, and these kind of Accenture of the words of the service, the system integrators. So they used to take that platform and build the custom solution for the companies, and if that doesn't work, no one was taking the responsibility. That company
So
was saying,
you actually started by building a chatbot. Is that correct?
yes, yes,
And
yes.
and this was pre-LLM days.
Pre-LLM, and we were not, so we started saying chatbot as a service. So though it was just a
Hmm.
chatbot, so why we said like that? Because since it was not working, and there was a need, because social media penetration has happened so much that in 2016, and companies were saying you reach out to us in various channels, any channel, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. There was a need. Companies were desperate to have this kind of solution, but the solution was not there. We said we will build the same, but we'll provide you the tech, and we'll also create a solution with you, and you pay us only when it works for you. So we said, manage chatbot as a service, not just you keep giving us a
So
subscription.
who are the initial users? I mean, these were banks again.
So see, we started with travel. So
Oh,
our
okay,
tagline was, we take stress out of travel. So we chose travel because we were thinking you need assistant when you are away from home.
got it,
So
got it.
so we started
And
with
you would do
travel.
this, and you would do this along with the Make My Trips of the world, or were
So
you doing it? Yeah.
yeah, so we reached out to all the travel companies that time, Make My Trip and Red Bus. So that time they were two different companies,
Yeah.
and IRCTC, KSRTC, and all the travel companies, and even the tourism boards of
Hmm.
India and few other part of the world. So then we could get IRCTC was one of our early customers. SRS Travels, if you know, that was
Yeah.
actually the first customer. SRS Travels
Yes.
here,
Bus travel. Yes.
bus
Yeah.
travel, and then VRL
And
Travel,
so what would I mean? This which year are we talking about?
2016, 2016,
2016. Wow.
yeah,
2016. So what would the customers ask the bot? Let's say they are on a bus traveling, let's say from Bengaluru to Hyderabad. What
yeah.
what what would they tend to ask?
See, so they were actually multiple stuff we had launched there, but they usually had 20. I still remember the first chatbot which we launched for SRS Travel was around 20 questions, right? So refund if they want to cancel it, and
Oh,
what
that
time
way.
it is
Okay.
reaching. right?
Got it.
And how much bag they can kind of carry.
So
And
you were actually taking some load off the call centers. So that's where you came in.
yeah,
You
yeah,
were
yeah,
deflecting calls which would come into to their call centers.
that's correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
that's a good start. Great. So, and then I'm going to fast forward a little bit if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, LLMs came in, I suppose, 2022 and so on. So, what happened?
See, okay, I have to give the answer fast. Okay, but still
No,
I
no,
will
no,
say.
don't worry. Take your time. No, no, no.
Okay,
I don't want to put
so
any
I'll tell
pressure
you.
because
So,
there's a lot to
so,
talk about. That's why. Yeah.
so our customers used to say, "Oh, user has asked this, and you have given this answer, which we had provided you. Then where is the AI here, right?" So
Oh, okay.
see, but our AI was just the NLU part, right?
Mhm.
Natural language understanding. So NLP has two parts, NLU and
Yeah,
NLG. So when
yeah.
we say LLM, Gen AI, so that's more of NLG part. I remember I used to say, because earlier I was thinking this kind of technology would never come. So we were saying we do not manufacture the answers. You have to give the answers and you have to take the responsibility of your own responses. So
Right.
what we can do is because, and I'll also tell you, so 80% of the intents which people ask in almost all the sectors, almost all the companies the same. So say in IRCTC, say we get say
Yeah,
maybe 4 million users every day. If you see the dashboard, there are only those 10 intents. People
yeah.
want to book, they want to cancel, they want to change the boarding station, all that. So it's same. We just have to identify those frequently asked intents, and with an NLP, we train an intent classification and entity extraction and give the fixed answer. So, but yes, then we thought then LLMs started coming. Before LLM, I think there was more the models like BERT, which was
Mhm.
more the large language
Yeah.
based classification. I would still say, I think the generation was still not happening that well, but the classification was happening well and more of sentence completion stuff. We did not use BERT, we use something called Godel. Godel was model LLM from Microsoft. It was open source. I think no one used it. It was never a popular LLM. It was before ChatGPT. Most of our competitors, they were using BERT. We did not get better results with BERT. We took Godel. Since we had a lot of data, we started early. We had a lot of data, a lot of users have used it.
So, sorry, I'm going to interrupt over there. So, you were using data, which is, as you said, the intents were pretty common across all travel companies. Is that right? So, you
Yeah,
could kind of, at least you had the agreement that you could use the data to train your
yeah,
models. Is that
that's
right?
correct.
That is
That's
something you
correct.
set up right at the beginning, because some companies may not have allowed that.
Yeah, so earlier that was in our agreements. We would use the data to improve our model. So
Mm.
earlier we were saying to improve our AI engine. So it's kind of to improve our model. Of course, it is anonymous data without PII data. So
Of
since we
course.
had the data and we used Godel, and yeah, so I think that was a
No, I'm just saying that's very progressive for that time, really, because you were really training, your model with, I mean, technically speaking, with Make My Trip data, and you could use that learning to serve Yatra. So you
so
could
Make
do
My
stuff
Trip
like,
was never our customer, though I said
oh,
I
I
reached
see.
out to those people.
Okay.
So,
No, I'm just
but
giving it as an example.
yeah, yeah.
As an
But
example.
Red Bus was Red
Mm,
Bus
mm,
and this travel company. Yes.
yeah,
So I think that was the strength which we had. And so when we created this Bharat GPT, right, it was not a revolution from us. It was just industry moved, and only benefit which we had was the data, right?
yeah.
So then, so we had no intention to create the model from scratch.
Mm,
But we of course did enough to say when people, most of our kind of companies were busy using the Chat GPT and others. So we did not launch it because the hallucination was there, and we are not B2C, right?
yeah, yeah.
We were very we still work with large, very serious
Enterprise.
regulated enterprises, and even they didn't have much push, and even we did not have much push to use these kind of popular LLMs. But I still remember I used to give trainings to the employees of our enterprises. What is this LLM and Chat GPT and all
So
that?
Bharat GPT is an LLM you built, is it?
BharatGPT's LLM we built the first we started with Godel fine-tuned. It was not from
Mm.
scratch.
Yeah.
And we always said it's kind of fine-tuned version. But it used to work. We never picked up really large model. We picked up around 3 billion parameter model to fine-tune it. And now recently we launched BharatGPT Mini. So that is created from scratch. Now we know how to create from scratch and working with NVIDIA very closely using
Mm.
the GPU, the Nemo stack we created from
Mm.
scratch. And we still have not utilized, people say they don't have data and they don't have GPUs. But I think now we have GPUs as well. And we have a lot of data. We have not used all the data to
Sure.
create our model. There's no need currently because currently we are still
So,
B2B and we have use case.
so Bharat GPT Mini is what? It's released to the public, open source. What is it? How does the model work?
So it's in the hugging phase for the developers and researchers to use, but it's not open source. It's for the
Mm.
enterprises.
Mm.
So when see we are actually a conversational AI company, right? We
Correct.
we build AI agents and AI assistant, chat bots, and with
Yeah.
little differentiation, chat bots, voice bots, and video bots as well. So video
Mm.
bot is very interesting, which is like we can make your interactive digital twin. So
Yeah.
now it's deep fakes and all that are very popular. But
Yeah.
we used to create, I think the first we launched in around 2019 or 2020. The first video bot we created of Dilip Asbe sir, NPCI CEO.
Yeah.
So the employees could interact with the CEO of NPCI. It
I
was
see.
interactive.
Mm.
So that kind of stuff. And now, so when we create AI agents or AI assistant for them companies for their use cases, so we have now coming to the composite AI. So we
Mm.
have three layers how we create this AI assistant. The first one is the old traditional one with which we used to create all this while,
Mm.
because we understand our customers and their end consumers, what they ask, how they ask. If someone is asking what is my PNR status, I don't need to use GPUs and Gen AI there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we know what are the various ways, and the intent classification and entity extraction still works there. So we call it as classic NLP. That's the first layer. We still have to provide these question answers and the flows and all that. The
Yeah.
second layer is the grounded Gen AI, where it is by default, it's our BharatGPT family of models, whether it's BharatGPT Mini, and we have a couple of other models based on it is fine tuned on Llama or Godel
Mm.
or
Mm.
Pythia,
Mm.
and BharatGPT Mini is very small, which is from scratch. So we work with the enterprise and decide which model to choose. And now we are also working with the enterprises. Say, hey, leave all of that. We can even create model for you, a small model for you if you have enough data to
Right.
create. You don't use Chat GPT, Gemini, or Bharat GPT. We can create a model for you. You own it. It will create it with your data. So that is the second layer of grounded Gen AI. The third layer is some customers are fine because I'm not saying we are any better than Chat GPT and Gemini. Right? They've done a lot of research, good data. So the third layer is so we can plug in, we can choose Chat GPT or Gemini.
Mm.
We also have another
Mm.
version called Bharat GPT Internet. We select.
Mm. Mm.
So the third layer is this general purpose LLMs.
Mm.
So this is how we use LLMs, and the choice is given to the developer or the enterprise to choose.
Fantastic. So fantastic. So you built it. In fact, I'm going to actually ask one of the questions which has come from the audience, by the way, because I think it's a very appropriate time. This is from Aditya. His question is, was being an early mover in this space an advantage or a disadvantage? As we have seen with Apple, Amazon having to throw away their legacy platforms and go back to the drawing board once LLMs took off. So it's a very appropriate question.
Yeah, so I think I really need to do the introspection to answer it.
Yeah.
Know whether that was advantage or disadvantage. But the good thing is, see, there were many players like let's say Alexa. I think Alexa was early.
Yeah.
right? I still think it failed, right? So because they were early, and so we have not given up on anything, right? So and we still have the opportunity to redo all the things which others have done. We could now we can do again with a lot of data which we have and the new technology which is the whole ecosystem has given us. So I think now there's definitely an opportunity. So we took more time to come to this stage, probably yes. But if you see the benefit is, though we would not have made much money, but kind of experience. Now everyone is talking about AI assistants, AI, the agents, right? We started so early, so we have the experience, and
Yeah.
we understand, and all the big companies, so they know we know. So yeah, so I see all of that as positive.
No,
Positive.
I think the good thing is I think you kind of answered it earlier itself, which is, what did you call it? Composite model, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you've actually have multiple, I don't know, is the right word to use layers? You have
absolutely.
multiple, yeah, you have multiple layers where you have not thrown out the stuff which you have done in the past. You actually
Yeah,
use it, especially for what you called, you even gave an example, right? What is my PNR and stuff like that. You don't need to go to an LLM for that.
yeah,
You can just answer it using your older kind of structures.
absolutely.
Great. Yeah. You talk about something on your website as so human-centric AI.
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Yeah, so again, I think we were the first one to coin this word human-centric AI and human-centric. We used to say human-centric conversational AI, and I was so glad to see the speech of Honorable Prime Minister, I think a week ago, where he said the AI should be human-centric and inclusive. So, and yeah, so I was feeling good about it. So human centric is, see, people ask me why you don't create your video bot, which we created for Dilip Aspecer and few others. No, see, I said, I people don't call, so not more than 20 people reach out to me every day, right? So it's for the large companies. So no one wants to talk to robots. It's good to play with, right? Sometimes I see the Jensen keeps taking his robot to the few events, but mark my word, it would be next 10 events. That's all, right? 11th event, he would not take it. So they're like toys. It's good to have for some small time period. But yes, we really need to use those to automate our work and reduce the cost. It's not fancy to use robots. Currently, it looks like, right? It is definitely not the fancy thing. So that's why and I used to believe no one can replace the benefit of meeting face to face, right? So if not face to face, then of course the video. If not video, at least on the phone. If not phone, then the chat, right? So so then most of the chatbot and AI assistant and conversational AI companies were text heavy, and then Alexa did again voice, which was good. So we started, we'll do human centric, means we'll have the real person talking to you. So interactive digital twin, as I was saying, we can create your interactive digital twin. So that's why we're saying it's more of human centric. So it's kind of human agent we are creating with our platform.
So you're basically making people more productive. That's what it is. You're not doing the replace human kind of a thing, but you're making them more productive with whatever tools you give them.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that a fair
And
way of saying it?
AI agent which looks human,
Mm,
right? So we have video bots, voice
mm,
bots, and chat bots. So when we
mm,
say the multi-model AI
mm,
agent,
mm.
so then if you ask any thought leaders what is multi-model, so
Mm.
they would say text and voice
Yeah.
and maybe image. No one
In
says
your case,
video.
video also. Yeah, video
Yeah.
also. Correct. Correct.
When we talk to these analysts and say why for you multi-model is not video, is it only you do it? So I cannot compare all for that because it will look biased. So
Yeah, yeah,
no
cool.
other conversational AI company which does video bots.
So you've now you're beyond travel, right? You're in several verticals. Is
No,
that a fair statement?
yeah, because of
Yeah.
COVID. When COVID hit, travel revenue became zero. So then
Yeah.
fortunately we got into banking and BFSI and started doing okay.
No, that's great. But your real area where you get implemented is still around customer service and support and customer facing functions. Is that where you have the biggest play?
Correct. So I think that is the low hanging, but we've done many interesting things like, so we are now doing value based pricing, more like, someone is booking the train ticket, we get some money for every train ticket getting booked in Ask Disha. So similarly with
Mm,
for automobile company, we get paid when a test drive is booked. So not
mm,
this is not just of the customer support, it's more of maybe pre-sales and sales automation.
mm,
But we have done few agents which is more employee centric for GRSE. GRSE is Garden Reach. It's a PSU under Ministry of Defense. So they
mm,
make warships for Indian Navy.
mm, 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 mm,
So they use our AI agent for HR, like more of HR assistant.
mm, mm.
And
And Ask Disha is your product, is it?
Asdisha is powered by
Oh,
Core.
nice, nice. That's good to know. You'll be getting hell of a lot of volume through that.
Yeah, a lot of volume. Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so now that's an interesting way to price it as well. So I have the conversation with the customer, and if I'm able to convince the customer to buy my product, then you take a piece of the pie. Is that correct? That's how you're pricing it now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. That's a great one. In fact, my next question was around your business model itself. Now, with especially with agentic AI, I was going to ask, how would you price it? Agent per hour kind of a pricing, or like you said, outcome based?
See, so we have three revenue streams currently. The fourth one is coming, which I'll talk about it. The three revenue streams are the one is we call it as the value based, the transaction based pricing. The second is the ad based. We do not advertise that much. So the customers who have large customer base, so we barter it with the ad space on
Mm,
a few slots which are not interfering with the chat, like IRCTC, Indian Railways, SRS Travels, and we did with Mahindra and few others.
mm,
So it's ad based. I think
mm,
with ad based, we got the faster adoption, right? So we said, you don't pay us, just start because you already have so many consumers, we'll make money through ads. So yeah, so ad based, transaction based, and the third is subscription based because there are companies like LIC and PCI. They don't allow giving ads. They do not. Um, uh, so and PCI, it's more of the financial literacy and all of that. LIC is all about support. So there's no transaction happening. Though in LIC transaction is still happening for the premium payment and all that, but so they have not linked that transaction value to us. So they pay us a subscription base. So three revenue streams, and then say subscription also has say 100,000 messages or API calls free in a month, and after that based on the slab. But
mm,
now the kind of agentic AI, and now in our platform, which is not live yet, so we're doing a lot of stuff. So you'll be able to use agentic AI features of many companies, almost all companies in our agentic AI platform, and currently we our unit is the message. So whether it's text or voice or video, per message charging, right? So now
oh,
with agentic AI, so there's a lot of stuff is happening in the back end, right? So
mm,
for one interaction to happen with the customer, so we call this system, this system, this system, and then we have huge pressure now technically to do the token based pricing.
mm.
I'm
But
not
do customers understand token-based pricing?
no, that's why I'm a little worried about this
No, but
because
where is the pressure coming from then for
from the tech
token-based?
team, from our tech team, because there's so much cost involved. So when
Ah, okay, got it.
so currently, if you see, even we give 1 rupee for video message, so
Mm,
that is costly, right? So voice also on the web we give it say 1 rupee per message, text also 1 rupee. But still in India, people still use text more, right? So we natural is voice. We should
mm,
use more voice, but India is not ready yet. I think when our kids are, when I think next 3 to 4 years, I would see more voice adoption, because
And
we,
more video as well, I guess.
they should use, and they would, because this is the natural way, because
Mm.
we are educated people and we took education so much in our head, and we thought the form filling and all that is the natural way of
Mm.
the educated people. Or maybe it's not our mistake, because when we started playing with or using the computer, the voice technology was not that good, and when we even tried, it didn't work. Then now we are stereotyped saying the voice doesn't work, so let's go with the text and the click based approach. But now the
Mm.
voice works and the new kids know it works, so
Yeah.
they'll continue using voice. So, but now since 80% of our users are still text, and we balance out on the pricing, right? So even the text also, we get say 1 rupee, and we can balance out with the voice and video. But now the expectation of our customers are so much, right? So
Mm.
go with just conversational AI agents, we can still live up with this message based pricing. But the kind of features now we can add to our platform, right? So many, so many. So then it's everything is not on the face of it. So many things would
Yeah.
happen, right? One agent, like in Delhi Metro, is our customer. So one
Mm.
agent at the top, the front, it talks to three agents, right? So if you're saying I have to go from say Rajiv Chowk to maybe the airport, how much time it will take, and which line I have to take, metro
Mm.
line,
Mm.
and so what time the train is coming. So we have to call various agents in the back
Mm.
to reply all of that.
I
So
see. Okay.
then I think the fourth token based pricing would come.
And also you're kind of getting live feeds, live information
Yeah,
to answer those questions.
absolutely, all live. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because it may tell you like, in next 5 minutes a train is arriving, so better hurry to the
yeah.
metro station.
Even
Are you able to give that kind of answer?
even if you are say 5 minutes 5 kilometers away from the station, it'll say okay, it'll take you from your place to that place. So there we use Google Maps,
Ah,
integrated with
yeah,
Google Map API. It'll say it'll go from the place you are in, not from the station. It'll say for you it'll take this much time to go to the station if you take these
got
routes.
it. And this is which app? I mean, what are we talking about? Which
Ask
customer app?
Chetna, this is called as Ask Chetna on Delhi Metro.
Ask Chetna and Delhi Metro. So, I mean, I'm not in Delhi, I'm in Bangalore.
Yeah,
So, what you're saying is that if I'm anywhere in Delhi, I can open this thing and say, and it will automatically detect where I am, and
that's correct.
it'll tell me I need to reach the Delhi airport. I have a flight at 7. It'll tell me when to start, where to go to, catch which metro. All that it'll tell me. Is that correct?
Yeah, so flights 7 a.m. That thing I'm not sure yet,
No.
but it'll tell you from this. You have to go from say Rajiv Chowk to say airport, or one place station to another station. Where is the train? What time it's coming? And now from your place to go to the station, this much time will take, and all of that. Yes.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. I mean, I'm sure our users are as thrilled to hear this
Yeah.
as I am. Okay, we'll just roll on quickly. There are a lot of founders in this group as well, Ankush. I just want to ask a few questions for them. Now, I read somewhere that you've raised around $4 million or so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Around 5 million total, but recently 4 million. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So, tell me something. I mean, of course, many of our startup founders over here. I mean, very early in their startups. So, what is your kind of what would you tell them? Or the question to you is, what kind of metrics did you start tracking initially, and what do you continue to track for you to enable funds or investors being interested in you?
Yeah, so I think we were not the very traditional startup which would raise fund mainly on vanity metrics, right? We always focus on revenue, even if it's small, and the profit. And since it was AI, and of course the users, uh, how many users are using a platform, how much interactions our
Yeah.
platform using, and also how many demos we are giving, right? So though we have so many leads, right, 1,000 plus leads, conversion is still slow. It's very, very slow. The enterprise AI adoption is very slow, right? It looks like that AI adoption is very fast, but it's more on the consumer and nothing to lose, right? I'm just trying and playing it with. So,
Yeah.
but enterprises, they have a lot to lose, right? So one is which AI company to choose. Any AI company you work with, you have to give your data. How do you trust? It's not,
Yeah.
hey, I'm an innovative company. I've raised $1 billion. My valuation is $20 billion. Enterprises would not care because, right, they have to care about that you'll be able to handle the scale. It's not like you give wrong answer and tomorrow you say sorry, right? So
Mhm.
they want innovation, but more than innovation, I think the security and scalability is very, very important kind of for them. So all of that. So because of this, I think the conversion is still slow. And but we used to make ourselves happy, saying, these many demos we are given, right? And so that one day they will convert. The good thing is we have rarely, I think I would not be wrong saying, we have not lost any customer to the competition. So customer would have decided not to go with this because it's costly or whatever reason, but we have not lost anything to the customer, and we have seen
So,
IRC took 2.5 years to convert.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, so you're saying, of course, conversion rate, that's kind of an obvious metric, revenue, profitability. These are the three main things that you track through. That's
yeah, and
that's
the user adoption, as you said, that's correct.
yeah. That's great. That's fantastic, actually. That's a message to everybody, really. Now, what about the moat, defensibility? Did you think about it at the beginning? Obviously, you used, at least in your travel days, data which you got from all your travel customers to build your own model. But otherwise, today, I mean, you're working with banks and so on. So how do you build yourself some kind of a defense?
I think if I say uh, I Chat GPT, if I compare myself with the Chat GPT, so we don't do that because uh, all that, because Chat GPT has a lot of money. They are B2C. They are everywhere. They might be shallow in few fields,
Mm,
but they are spreading, right? So you can ask anything about the healthcare. You can ask anything about
mm,
farming, food, and everything. So if I compare myself with them, we have no defense, right?
mm,
So but the use cases which we have picked up, right? So say all the banks in India are using our platform. So if say one bank, let's pick up say SBI's bank,
mm,
SBI banks say UPI is down, we send
mm,
them alert, and they can also check how much transactions have happened today, yesterday,
mm,
reconciliation has happened or not, how to fix and all that. So, so we know deep in that domain, and they are able to chat and solve the issues and all that. And similarly, in IRCTC, people cannot just check the PNR status, they can even speak and do end-to-end booking also, including payment also with the voice. So even right, so in Chat GPT, say you cannot even find the PNR status, right? Forget about
right.
the ticket.
Right.
So I think our defense is the use cases we have picked up where we are getting
Mm,
better and better.
mm,
Uh, and Indian languages, and since we have so much data, all the other companies, whatever data they have, it's publicly available data. So I think what data we have, it's real data, which
uh,
uh, which
and you're dealing with all Indian languages. Is that correct?
14 Indian languages, not
Mm.
all of them yet. But yeah, we partner with Bhashni and a few
Yeah.
languages take from Bhashni.
No, that's wonderful. Actually, that's an important part of it. And what about sovereign nature? I mean, you keep everything in India and all that, right? I mean, so is that a key requirement for Indian customers these
Yeah,
days?
yeah. So yes, not all the customers. I think
Mm,
most of the customer, they say at least it should be mighty approved cloud, right? So
mm, mm,
mighty approved cloud can be say the big tech company, and they might still keep the data outside. So that clause I don't see in every RFP, uh,
mm,
but I hardly see that sovereignty part. But I urge everyone, since it's AI data and we have a lot of data. So we didn't have oil, that's why we have to export it.
Yeah.
But since we have the data, so though it is crude, I say data is not oil, data is a crude oil.
Yeah.
But right, but let's
You
refine
need
it
to
here.
refine it. Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
here. So let's not send the data outside and buy the information from the Western companies. So
Uh, uh,
sovereignty part is not very much common in the requirements. I urge
hmm.
it to be there, and I hope it would be there.
Okay. And is that a difference you bring up also saying that, look, we are able to give you sovereign, whatever, part of your, as part of the solution? Is that something
Absolutely.
which, Hmm.
Yeah, see, NPCI, a couple of our solutions are working on premise. So not just in
Oh,
India,
okay.
they're on premise. So that's
Okay.
another about defensibility with other companies, right? So we can provide our model on premise.
And do you have any relationship with the India AI mission? Because they too have given out a lot of, shall I say, benefits to enhance AI in the country.
Yeah, so we are not yet on the funding for LLM.
Hmm.
Um, LLM, that's we are not there yet, but yeah, India is a partner in a couple of things. One is, so we are one of the top 10 companies. See, we already had BharatGPT, right? So
Yeah, correct.
people are building it, and it was even launched by the IT minister, our BharatGPT. So
Yeah.
even Prime Minister has seen that. So we already have it. It's already deployed at scale. Others are building it.
Yeah.
But of course, we are working along with many of them, whoever have got funding.
Because they provide subsidized GPU
That's
capability
correct.
as well. Yeah.
That's correct. That's a good benefit. Of course, that's
Mm.
encouraging a lot of people to come to this field and create more solutions. And we are part of the top 10 companies by India AI, which they are trying to make us global. So
Mm.
we also went to France as
Mm.
part of India AI, and where we got even be glad to know even Bharat GPT is working in France also. We got our first
Oh,
customer
nice.
in France. We said, no, we'll create a model for you. They said, no, no, India and France, they're friends. Even I met the president of France also. So they're friends, and they didn't mind using the same name
Okay.
in France.
That's nice. So where else outside India, where else are your customers?
We have a couple in the US
Mm.
and one in Europe,
Mm.
one or two in UAE, but mainly India.
Okay, cool. I think we have already been speaking for nearly 40 minutes, Ankush. So I'll have one last question before we open up for the audience and their questions, which is, like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of startup founders in this community. What's the one message? I mean, you're a veteran. I mean, you've been at it now for 9 years, close to 10 years now. What's the one message you'll take to a whole bunch of budding AI startups in this group?
Yeah. So I think what I uh, consider to stay relevant and
Mm.
still not feel demotivated, uh, uh, comparing ourselves with many others in various parameters about, say, funding, valuation, revenue, profit, all of that. I think if we associate ourselves with a specific purpose or problem,
Mm.
which problem I want to solve as as human, right? So then all of other things which I just mentioned, they are not relevant because, and I would not say an idea, I would not say even product, because products keep changing, right?
Yeah.
So the competition keeps changing, the needs keeps changing, right? But I have not seen so far any problem in the world which got solved. And when people say, I'm a 2x entrepreneur and serial entrepreneur, I cannot resonate that thing so far. I don't know if I change tomorrow. Uh, any problem if you have picked up, right? Whether it's about maybe train travel or flight or healthcare, agriculture, we have been doing. I think the agriculture was the first thing we humankind has started. Did we solve
Yeah.
all the problems in agriculture,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
if we associate yourself to solve this problem, right, and then you spend whole your life solving that, I think we'll get better in understanding that problem, will will get better in getting all the resources to solve the problem, will get better in creating good solutions, better solutions, more solutions, then competition would come and go. We would not even care
Right.
what we are doing.
Right. Right. In fact, I heard it from one of the investors I met recently, a VC company. He told me that very interesting thing. He said one big lesson he's learned is look for entrepreneurs whom he thinks will stay the course, which is kind of what you're saying, which is stay the course, meaning they won't give up after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, because there are going to be downtimes. I mean, that's a given. Things are not going to be at the high all the time. So those who can stay on, for a long period of time, that's what he looks for. So which resonates so much with what you just said,
No,
Kush.
investors want founder to stay, but are they ready to stay? Focus with the investor, right? So investors want exit.
True, that is true. Okay, let me quickly get to some of the questions which have come up over here. Have you come across any jailbreak attempts with your models?
Um, I think we keep getting a lot of alerts, alarms on wrong answers and issues, different kind of issues. But jailbreak has not happened because, as I said, we have multiple layers to find
Mm,
out what is user asking, right? So we
mm,
ourselves first jailbreak it to go to the second layer and the third layer, right?
mm, mm,
So we, because we do not just take a prompt and take it to the LLM, right? And
mm,
then if I take to the LLM and then is people I think started saying, hey, ignore my prompt and do kind of SQL injection kind of stuff. So
mm,
no, because we have very modular approach to this,
mm,
right?
mm,
Even we are very selective what we take to our LLM. That's only say 10 to 20% of that case. And by the time we had already sniffed, we already know, we have already removed that noise in that
mm,
prompt in the layer one, even from UI side of
mm,
it,
mm.
right? So nothing goes surprise when it comes to the third layer, which is LLM.
Which is part of the composite AI which you talked
That's
about.
correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. That's great. Okay, next question. Do you see any impact of the DPDP Act on your business models or solutions?
So it is a positive impact because we all see, we work with banks, we work with Ministry of Defense, right? So
Yeah.
we were already following all these best practices.
Mm,
Now the good thing is there is DPDPA Act, but still it's not stringent. I think we do a lot more than whatever. It's not talking about. They're not talking about sovereignty. It's not that strict there, right? So I think technically there's no impact on us. I think it would be positive impact because now the enterprises would feel a bit safe.
mm.
There is someone who is watching and someone they can approach if we do anything wrong, right? So
Yeah.
technically no impact, but business wise I think it's going to be positive impact.
Very good. Okay, fine. We don't have any more questions from the audience, but I'll just have a last question, which is once again, I'm looking at all the different founders in the group here, which is many of them struggle with GTM and GTM strategy, really. What's your kind of advice to them? How do they think about it, especially for an enterprise kind of a business that they are looking at? For instance, do you get partnership? Do you tie up with hyperscalers? Those questions come to them all the time because once you get into it, then there's investment, money, time, resources, all of that. So what would be your kind of direction to them on that?
Yeah, I don't know whether I would call it as advice because we have still not cracked it. But
Mm,
what we used to do and still continue doing that is partnership heavy approach. Because
mm,
for a new company for to be trusted, it takes a lot. Why would other company trust you? Especially when we are targeting large enterprises, right? So
yeah.
if you give your whole effort, time, everything to one company, and if you solve for them, and if we can convince them, if they not just become the reference customer,
Mm.
and say, hey, you spend so much time in evaluating us, and you are also for business, and let's join hands and sell together. Right? So
Mm.
we try to make all our customers as partners, not tried, right? So many of them agreed, right? So
Which means you do a revenue share with them? Is that
we
what you
do
mean by?
revenue share with them.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Like we
That's
sold.
a great strategy, actually. Yeah.
So if you go to Charles Chetna and Delhi Metro, you would see Corover and IRCTC's logo, because IRCTC is sold as a co-sell partner to Delhi Metro. Bell
Oh, I
has
see.
sold to Chandigarh Smart City, right? So we made our partners as customers as our partners.
Partners. Brilliant. Okay, we have one question which is covered from the audience. Good evening. The presentation is very interesting. While we are discussing the human-centric AI at population scale, especially in higher learning, how the ethical and AI enforcement norms would dictate right uh, right ways for the students to evolve an independent understanding and novelty.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
very interesting. Thanks for asking this question. Um, I think there has to be balance. I know there's always a debate, and innovators, entrepreneurs think these regulations are probably that should not be there for the startups because we are here to innovate. I don't think that way, because see, whenever we buy a physical product, we see in India ISI mark. When we buy the process-driven product, we see ISO, and the regulation. If they are there, then at least you are not worried to create the laws. You work under the umbrella and you solve within the umbrella, right? So everything in the world happens within the umbrella, right? So
Yes.
even the Prime Minister of India works under the constitution, right? So no
Yeah.
one is the super boss to do everything, whatever comes to your mind. So I
Yeah.
think when the regulations are there, it makes our life easy, so that you
Mm.
know the boundary and what you have to concentrate on, so that you can evaluate your product against the rules, and your customers can also evaluate the rules, and customers not know how to test your product. So they know
Mm.
there is someone to trust, because we are being regulated. And to be ethical, I think it's not a choice. I think it's not just the moral value, like I have to be ethical. People are smart, right? So if I'm not ethical, others will come to know. Whether I'm not explicitly told or they are not explicitly told, they know, right? So we don't need so much intelligence. That's why the emotion and the sixth sense or whatever. So we have so much memory or knowledge in our mind, subconscious mind. I don't know what mind it is. We do not need much calculation to arrive to the results, right? So things just happen, and if you're not ethical, especially with AI, you are going to be exposed very very fast, right? Even if people might find it, the so many the hackers might find it, and when you see your data being exposed, you have seen many examples of earlier chatbots, and people keep sniffing and all that. So you would come to know sooner or later. So being ethical is basic thing when it comes to AI, right?
Yeah.
Because to exist, you need to be ethical in everything we do, starting from product design.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Finally, everything is about trust.
Yeah,
And
especially when it is AI. Yeah, yeah, trust.
yeah, even more. Ankush, this has been a fascinating discussion. Uh, Thank you so much for sharing your experience, the wisdom you've picked up over the many years, and telling us the story from 2016. I didn't realize that you had started at that time and lived through, two different, shall I say, phases:
Yeah.
pre-LLM and post-LLM, and a very fast-changing AI world. Thank you so much. Your words and pearls of wisdom will be very useful to our community. I know you're part of our community as well. So
Awesome.
thank you so much, Ankush, and everybody. Thank you very much for finding time to attend this live. The recording of this show will be available sometime tomorrow. With
Yeah.
that,
Thank you.
thank you and good
A-
night.
and a group core ma'am also for connecting us, and we could do this interaction.
Yeah, now she's moved to Delhi.
Yes, remember.
Great, lovely. Okay. Thank you, Ankush, and
Thank
thank you,
you.
and good night. Bye bye. Bye bye.